You're sitting at the kitchen table with your laptop open to the banking app, scrolling past the usual charges, electricity, the gym you go to twice a month, a streaming service you forgot you still had when you see it. $86.42. Sunbelt Storage. Same as last month. Same as the month before that. You don't stop scrolling. You've seen this line item so many times it's stopped registering as a decision. It's just weather now, something that happens to your account every 30 days, like rain. You close the laptop before you can do the math on how many months that adds up to. The unit is a 10 by 10 second row third door from the end. You rented it 4 years ago, the week you moved out of the apartment on Delford Street, back when moving felt less like leaving and more like packing for a trip you hadn't finished planning yet. You told yourself it was temporary. You said the word temporary out loud, actually, to the guy at the front desk, like saying it would make it true. He nodded the way people nod when they've heard that word 1,000 times and know exactly what it means. You meant to go back within the month and sort through everything. Keep what mattered, donate the rest. You even blocked out a Saturday for it, wrote it on the calendar in blue ink, storage, sort. That Saturday came and went with a work call that ran long and a headache that didn't. You moved the note to the following week. Then you stopped writing it down at all, because a note you keep moving isn't a plan anymore. It's a confession you haven't admitted to yourself. The auto-pay was supposed to be a stopgap, just until you had time. You set it up standing in line at the grocery store, thumb hovering over the screen, thinking, I'll cancel this the second I go through the boxes. That was 3 apartments ago. You've lived somewhere else since then, and somewhere else after that. Each time you moved, you'd think about the unit, feel a small flicker of, I should really deal with this, and then get distracted by the more urgent problem of finding a couch that fit through a doorway. The storage unit never got smaller in your mind. It just got quieter. Less like a task and more like background noise, the hum of a refrigerator you only notice when it stops. You might be telling yourself this is just practical. Everyone has a junk drawer, a garage, a closet they haven't opened in a while. $86 a month is nothing compared to buying furniture twice, replacing the winter coats, the tools, the boxes of books you might want again someday. It's not hoarding, it's foresight. That explanation works fine until you try to name, specifically, one thing in that unit you've actually needed in the last 2 years. You can't. You've stood in your kitchen missing a drill, driven to the hardware store, and bought a new one because it was easier than driving 40 minutes to a storage facility and digging through boxes labeled in handwriting you don't recognize as your current handwriting. You're not storing things you need. You're storing things you can't yet admit you don't. The label maker was your idea back when you first packed the unit. You thought it would help, a system, categories, something searchable. Kitchen, books, winter. But some of the boxes got harder to name as you packed them, so you wrote things that meant something only to you at the time. College stuff, maybe. Her things she left. Wedding. The question mark on that last one has been bothering someone somewhere for 4 years, and that someone is you, and you've simply arranged your life so you never have to look at it. You've started dating someone new. Nothing serious yet, but new enough that they ask the ordinary questions people ask when they're trying to learn the shape of you. Where'd you grow up? What was your 20s like? Do you still talk to your ex? And you answer, mostly. You're not lying. But there's a specific kind of pause you do, a half second where your face does something you're not aware of, right before certain answers. They've noticed it. They haven't said anything yet. You've noticed that they've noticed, and you've told yourself that's just how you are, private by nature, not a big deal. But privacy is a choice you make about what to share. This is different. This is a door you've locked and then also lost the key to and told everyone, including yourself, that you simply prefer it closed. Somewhere in that unit is a box with your old business cards from the marketing job, the one before the industry pivot, before the years you now describe when asked as finding my direction. At the time, you didn't experience it as finding anything. You experienced it as scared and broke for a stretch and unsure whether the version of you who'd had a title and a desk and a laugh he used at office parties was a person you'd killed on purpose or one who'd simply wandered off while you weren't looking. You kept the cards. You're not sure why. You've never once in 4 years taken them out to look at them. But the idea of throwing them away feels like an admission that the guy on the card, confident, employed, going somewhere, is gone in a way that can't be undone. As long as the box exists, sealed, unopened, there's a version of the story where he's just on hold. This is the part where you might expect the episode to tell you that letting go is healthy, that closure is a skill you can learn, that there's a framework for this. There isn't going to be a framework. There's just the fact that you keep paying $86 a month to avoid a conversation with yourself that would take maybe 40 minutes and one dumpster run. Your current apartment doesn't have room for half of what's in that unit, and you know it. If someone handed you every box today, unopened, and said, "Bring this inside," you'd immediately need to rent a second unit because your life now doesn't have a shelf for who you used to be. You've built an entire adult existence. The job, the new relationship, the apartment with the good light in the mornings, that runs perfectly fine without any of it. The boxes aren't load-bearing. They never were. But you drive past the exit for Sunbelt storage sometimes on your way to somewhere else, and you feel something you don't have a clean word for. Not longing, exactly. Not guilt, either. Something closer to the feeling of walking past a house you used to live in, not wanting to go back inside, just needing for a second to confirm it's still standing. The people who work the front desk have changed twice since you signed the lease. New faces, same laminated sign about late fees, same hum of the fluorescent light over the door, rows and rows of identical metal doors, and behind an unknowable number of them, other people are doing exactly what you're doing, paying monthly rent on versions of themselves they haven't found the nerve to bury. Your new partner asks, one evening, half joking, "What's actually in that storage unit you mentioned once and then never brought up again?" And you laugh the laugh you use for questions like this and you say, "Honestly, I don't even remember anymore." You mean it as a joke about how long it's been. But it isn't a joke. You genuinely don't remember what's in half of those boxes. You are paying $86 a month to protect the contents of your own life from your own memory. There's a specific moment, a few weeks later, when your partner offers to come with you to finally sort through it. This weekend, they say, we'll bring coffee, make a day of it. And you say, "Sure, that sounds good. Let's do that." And then you don't. Something comes up. Something always comes up, the way it always has, for 4 years, and you're aware, even as you're saying something came up, that you are the one who keeps arranging for something to come up. You finally go alone, on a gray Tuesday afternoon that doesn't feel significant in any way, which is exactly the kind of afternoon these things happen on. Nobody plans the day they finally look. It just becomes the day. The way an ordinary Tuesday becomes the day a pipe finally gives out after years of the good. The lock sticks. You've forgotten the combination twice already, standing there, and had to check your phone for the note you saved in 2022. When the door finally rolls up, the sound is louder than you remember, metal complaining, and the smell hits you before anything else. Cardboard, dust, the particular mustiness of things sealed away from air. It's not an unpleasant smell. It's just a smell that belongs to a version of time that has nothing to do with your actual life anymore. The boxes are exactly where you left them, stacked the way you stacked them because nothing in here has moved in 4 years except you. Kitchen, books, winter, college stuff maybe, her things she left, wedding. You stand in the doorway for a long time without opening a single one. And it occurs to you, standing there in the gray afternoon light with the smell of cardboard in your throat, that you didn't drive out here today to finally sort through your past. You drove out here to confirm it was still locked,